Hi, my name is Dorothy Hunt, and I'm the librarian at Bear Exploration Center. I want to welcome you to the library. Come on in. When you come in, the first thing you have to do is sign in if you're not coming in with your class. To sign in, you write your name on the line. Just like that. Then you close the book, put the pencil back, and then you come on over here with your book. If you are checking in your book and you are with your class you don't have to sign in. And also, if you have a class, you don't have to check in your book. You can just lay your book down. If you're coming in by yourself, you need to make sure you sign in and then scan your book. And there you see balloons. And you should see your name right there. I'm going to scan it again. And this time we have confetti. And one more time, and we have fireworks. But each time you should have your name. If you scanned it more than one time though, you are also going to see in-house use. That is okay. Then after you finish that, you're going to look on the spine of your book and see if it is fiction or nonfiction. If it is fiction, it is going to have only letters. Then you're going to put it over here where on the cart where it says fiction, and I put ABC there so you know it's only letters. If it is a nonfiction book like this one, it is going to have numbers and letters on that. If it does have numbers and letters, you're going to put it in the nonfiction part. Then you're going to go back to your table and sit down and wait for me to call you to check out. That we're going to be going over is the reference area with dictionaries, thesauruses, almanacs, and anything else that would help you on your project. Some of the things you might just want to look at too. So we have things like Ripley's Believe It or Not over here, and you have the world records and night sky, dinosaurs, different butterflies. I have here the President's Encyclopedia. So I would be able to look at all of the presidents, or I could just pick a president that I was doing my report on, and then I could take it back to the table and read it. But when you get done with these, you cannot check these books out. These are reference books. When you get done, you can put these over here in the basket, and then I can put those up later. Now, right next to the reference section is the nonfiction section. So it's also called the Dewey Decimal System. And all of these books have numbers on them. So let's look at this shelf. These have numbers on them. It goes from 531, 531, 531, 531, 532, 532, 534, 534, and it goes all the way up. All of the Dewey Decimal ones have numbers on them. Those numbers are putting them with like books. So up here we have a lot of science books. And right here on the shelf we have a magnet. Well, we know now that all the magnet books are going to be over here. So I can kind of look over here, and there we go. There's the magnet book. So then I could say, oh, I think I'm going to get that book. You're going to take that and you can take it and check it out. Across from that, you have more Dewey Decimal books, and all of them are in number order also. On the other side of that are your biographies. At the end of the Dewey Decimal System, 999, which are right here. Then we have a 92. 92 are all of the biographies. So let's look at this shelf. I have as you see, every single one of these have 92. These are from M through R. So, and I see that Rosa book right there, and I'm thinking, oh, I think that might be a good book to look at. So I can go down here for the R's, and I am going to see the Rosa book right here. There we go. So anybody you would like to look for, hopefully will be over here, but definitely all of the scientists and all of the history makers are going to be over here. Culture books are right up here, and they go all the way down to the floor. The first part of culture, all of these are Spanish books. And so I put a little Miranda here to remind you of that. All the rest are books about people in different countries or in different sections of America, like the Appalachians or the Southern, or maybe even New York City, someplace where it's a different type culture. Right here and on all the shelves, I have little dolls or statues to let you know what is on that shelf. So we have Madeline here, and Madeline is here because Madeline is from France, and it talks a little bit about the French culture. So I'm going to put that back right where it was, and I'm trying to pull it back out to the edge so it's not stuck inside, and I will lose my book if it gets stuck. If you push in your book, say you push that book in like that and a couple more people come around, you've lost that book. You can't even see that that book's there. So please make sure when you put your book back that you put it back right to the edge. And so we have more culture books all the way here. Then I have some Dr. Seuss books. I have music and art and poetry books. I have STEM books. Now these STEM books are different than some of the other STEM books in the library. These STEM books are mainly about STEM. There are other books that I put a STEM sticker on that maybe could be about a scientist who did STEM work, or maybe about somebody building a car or things like that. These are actually things talking about engineering and how just STEM only. It doesn't have another part of the story. Down here we have disability books, and I have things like the Braille books, the sign language books. It has things about dyslexia, has things about physical handicaps. There's all different kinds of books that are there. The next section is sports. And we have sports. And remember, I have things that will remind you of what is on that shelf. Now over here, I also have a chair, and I have a basket here. So if you are looking at books and decided maybe you really didn't want that book, you could say, okay, I'm looking at this book and it doesn't have enough pictures for me. So I'm not sure I want to get that book. So I can put it back here so Miss Hunt can put it back in the right place. So these books are fantasy books. And then after fantasy, we have quite a few fantasy books. Then we have science fiction books. I have just a couple of shelves of science fiction. Then we have horror. And if you go over here, we have adventure. And then we have animals. Now, in between adventure and animals, and right before the adventure books, are celebration books. So you have books from January through November, and then you have all of these are going to be in December. So it is any type of celebration that is taking place during those months. They're going to have those stickers. Even though those have Christmas tree stickers, all of those are not Christmas books. Some of them are about Hanukkah, some of them are about Ramadan. So it just depends on where that holiday or that celebration takes place, what month it takes place in, is where those are. Now, this last shelf over here is comedy. And I had so many comedy books that I ended up having to move them over to this shelf across from comedy. So I have comedy books here. Then I have fairy tales. Now these are different than the fairy tales that are over in the nonfiction area. In the nonfiction area, those are old fairy tales, things that have been around for hundreds of years. These are newer fairy tales that people have written. And then right after the fairy tales are the mystery books. So I have so many mystery books that I have mystery also over here on the shelf right behind it. So we're going from over here, walking around the shelf, and now here's some more mystery books. And mystery goes all the way to the end until we get to this shelf right here, and then realistic books start. Now, realistic books are all about our relationships and things that happen to us in real life. That's why they're called realistic. So their stickers have like people talking to each other. And then it continues all the way over here. The last big section we have is the historical fiction. And all of the fiction books, doesn't matter whether it's in culture or fantasy or comedy or mystery or historical, any of those, all of these books are put in alphabetical order. So they all have a sign saying what they are, and then you can see that they are put in ABC order. Okay. Now the last section that we have is very small, but I had so many people asking me about it. Last year I just made a section for it. So this is the Christian section, and we just have a few of those books. And that is it for all of the collection of our library. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the library. It has been fun to be able to show you all around how we have newly genreified our library. I think it's going to be a lot of fun learning and exploring different genres.